Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing this gold glowing goddess makeup look. It is so hot for summer. If you're ready to learn more about this bronzy look, then keep watching. So I want to do things a little bit differently today and start with my foundation. So you really can't see much of my body from this more close-up angle that we're doing so that you can see more detail of the eye makeup. But my body is really tan right now because I am a fan of self-tanners and staying out of the sun. And I'm also a fan of a ton of skincare steps. So because of that, my face stays really light, and it's extra light today because I haven't put any self-tanner on it in forever. All of that to say, let's start with foundation. I'm going to start with my Laura Mercier. This is my foundation primer. I'm just going to start with a pea-size amount, warm it up in my hand, and starting in the center of my face, I'm going to kind of work that into the skin. Next, I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier. This is their Flawless Fusion Longwear Foundation. I'm going to use the shade 3W2 Golden, but we're going to do something fun today because today is all about being a bronzed goddess. So I'm actually going to go in with my Marc Jacobs drops. This is the Do You drops. And so what we're going to do is, using a little beauty tool, we're going to do a few pumps of the foundation. And directly on top of the foundation, I'm going to mix in 2 pumps of my Do You drops. 1, 2. Oh my gosh, maybe I should have done 1. We're going to be glowing. So then I'm just going to mix that in. And then I'm literally just going to use the back of a small makeup brush, and I'm just going to mix these 2 together. So this is one of my favorite beauty tips for summertime, is taking a more matte longwear foundation, because that is what works best for my skin, and then putting in a like radiant highlighting drop, because then you get that beautiful summertime glow, but the longwear of a foundation. And now, using the back of a beauty blender, I'm just going to start to stipple that in. That was a lot, and we're going to have to blend it in, but I'm going to just start to work that into my skin. I love these Marc Jacobs Do You drops. They smell like summertime. They're so yummy, but it's kind of fun to give yourself that glow, and you can add it to any foundation. Huge favorite. I'm just gonna forewarn you guys, today's makeup tutorial is gonna be a little bit bougie. It's a really fun makeup look that I did earlier today, and I loved wearing. I am all about being like a bronzed goddess. All the neutrals, give me all the gold, all the glitter, but it's gonna be a little bougie today. Okay, now that I have a face on and I don't feel like I'm a floating head anymore, we can move on to our eyes. I'm gonna start with my MAC Paint Pot and Soft Ochre, and then I'm just gonna use a little buffing brush. This is the Morphe M173. I just kind of swirl it in there once. Make sure you put your caps on so that it stays nice and airtight. And then I like to just spread it out a little bit on both because it doesn't take very much. And you can see I'm just doing little patting motions. Continuing those little patting motions until it is blended out all over the eye. I like to do it all the way under my brow, on that brow bone, and in the front of the eye as well. So for most of our eye look today, I'm going to go in with the Friendcation palette. This is by Dose of Colors. It's been on my channel before. I love this palette. It is one by Desi Perkins and Katie Luster Luxe. To start, I'm going to go in with this light kind of beige shade, and it is called Basic. And I am just going to press that in all under the brow bone, kind of from front to back. And I'm also going to bring that across the front of the eye. We are going to have a lot of fun with gold and maybe a little bit of sheen, glitter, kind of that wet look on the eyelid. And so I really love that this isn't a bright white, because it's not going to draw too much attention to the brow bone. It's going to kind of just, I don't know, it's like almost a neutrally skin tone color. So then we are going to go into this first transition shade here called Necessary. And this is just gonna be our first transition shade that I'm gonna lay down and start building our eye shape with. But since this is the first one, it's our lightest, I'm gonna be a little bit more messy with it, taking it kind of a little bit higher than the crease. I really like this first shade to just be really soft, really diffused, kind of just laying a foundation for the blending magic we want to happen. Then we are going to deepen up the crease a little bit with one of my favorite shades down here, Churro. With just a little bit on my brush, I'm going to start to kind of wiggle that into the crease, but we're not thinking as high as the last shade. We're going to kind of keep it a little bit lower and tighter, just directly in the crease. And then lastly, with a little bit more of a precise brush, we're gonna go into this really dark chocolate matte shade. I think it's called Cheens. If you know, go ahead and just let me know in the comments maybe. I don't want very much of this, so I'm just going to take a little bit on the brush and kind of wiggle it, pressing it into this back corner. And then with my same crease brush, it already has that crease shadow on it, I'm just going to go over that little bit of area where we put that nice chocolate color, just to make sure the top of that is blended. Okay, so now for our gold glowing goddess moment, we are gonna use ColourPop. This is their Super Shock Shadow. These guys are so inexpensive. I wanna say they might be like $4. And the color payoff on these is incredible. I always feel so weird talking like in the middle of steps because I have like this weird half makeup thing going on and then I pause to talk to you guys. But anyways, these guys, this one I've had for a while. They look like snake skin when you first buy them, but they are the weirdest consistency. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I mean, it's not dry. It's like a wet, cushiony type feel. But look at this. I'm like not even gonna barely swatch this. And look, if you can, at all this color on my hand. It is just so gold, so pigmented, has so much pretty glitter in it. This is the shade Cheap Date. And you apply these with your finger. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my ring finger. You always wanna use the ring finger whenever you're touching the eyes, just to be nice and gentle. And I'm really just gonna press this directly onto the lid. Guys, look at this. I'm telling you, you can pick these up at Ulta now. They don't have the greatest selection, but they do have a good selection in Ulta's. And then I'm just using my pinky finger to try to like drag that into the corner a little bit more. It literally couldn't be easier. I just pat that cream over my lid, and now I'm gonna do it to the other side. Again, using my ring finger, I'm using the other ring finger because it's easier when doing the other side of your face, but I'm just gonna pat that into that little spot on the lid that we left open. And then, like I said, with my pinky, I'm just gonna try to drag it into the corner a little bit better. And then I'm just blending. I feel like I'm probably making a funny face. I'm just blending it out a little bit. Can you guys see just how pretty that is? All you do is like pat it on and it gives you so much pretty color, so much glitter. What I'm gonna do is go in with the little brush that we did the corner with and just kind of blend that corner together a little bit more. And then with my fluffy crease brush, I'm just gonna blend over our crease color again, just making sure that all these shadows are nice and blended together. I will say, for beginners out there or for people who want to get better at your shadows, I think this is one thing that's really easy. It's just going back over it until it's blended, because all of these are nice and soft and blended together, where these are kind of harsh. So it's just taking it and going back over things just to make sure they're nice and blended. It might take like 30 extra seconds, but it is totally worth it. And then lastly, because we already had this beautiful palette out, I'm going to go in with this light guy right here. He is called, or she is called Just a Kiss. And I'm going to apply that again with my ring finger. This is kind of a like wet look to the lid, like a champagne glitter. But since we already have this palette out, I'm just going to press a little bit of that glitter over top. This just gives us that extra little something. Can you guys see the difference? It is like the prettiest little glitter. It's only on this eye. I can tell it just takes it that extra step, that little extra oomph. I have like gold and glitter all over this hand now. Going in with my other ring finger. Oh my gosh, guys, look at that glitter. It is so pretty. Okay, now to clean all of this up. I am gonna go in with an old school, everyone's favorite, just tried and true. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard. Just going in that same kind of under the eye triangle shape. But so we wanna clean up the eyeshadow right now. So I do draw as clean of a line as I can under the eye. I feel like I need a little more than this, but yeah, just kind of drawing that nice clean line. I also like to do a little bit in the inner corner of the eye just to kind of brighten in there. So again, I start right like where the darkest part of your dark circle is. That's where I put the first stroke so you get the most pigment there. Blend it out, then draw that clean line under the eye. And lastly, brighten up that inner corner of the eye as well. And then of course I go down the tip of my nose, attempting to make my nose look smaller. I like to do my Cupid's bow of my lip. And then sometimes I'll do a little on my chin and on my forehead. Guys, my skin is so glowy right now with these lights on it. My forehead just looks like the Tin Man. But I am digging it. That's what today's video is all about. And then with a damp beauty blender, I am just gonna press that in. Concealer is just one of my favorite steps. This is another trick I've been kind of doing, guys, is taking my concealer up in a C around my eye because it's kind of where I put my highlight anyways, and brighten the skin with like my shimmery highlight, which we will do plenty of today. But I also just like to take my concealer up there. I am a huge fan of concealer, but isn't it so pretty how it like just gives you that cut like shadow line without having to clean it up with your foundation or anything like that? I know this is one thing that a friend of mine told me she liked from the first video I did, was seeing that you can do your foundation first and then clean it up afterwards with concealer. After you've made a mess, you don't have to do your foundation last. You can put foundation on if that's what you're used to, and then just clean it up with your concealer. Then I'm going to go in and set my under eyes with my Estee Lauder. This is their Perfecting and Blurring. It's just a translucent powder. And with a tiny brush, I am just going to press this under the eyes. I press it into place because I personally feel like that gives you a more flawless finish than sweeping it. I think this kind of helps the concealer stay right where you placed it rather than kind of pushing it everywhere. I like to go ahead and set all the concealer real quick. I have not used that NARS Radiant Concealer in a hot minute, and I just love it. It has always been a favorite of mine, and it is doing everything I remember it used to do. And then with a really fluffy brush, I am going to go in with my Laura Mercier. This is the Candle Glow Powder. It is kind of like a glowy, sheer perfecting powder, and this is in the shade number 3. I love that it has shades. But I'm just going to use that fluffy brush and kind of press this in all over. Again, keeping with that glowy theme. So we have our liquid highlighter mixed into our foundation. We have some glowy golden goddess eyes, and now we're setting our already radiant foundation with a kind of glowy radiant powder. Guys, I am seriously such a fan of summertime and all the glow, bronze goddess. Like, I'm a neutral girl anyways. Honestly, I'm going to be wearing this eyeshadow all winter too. But the glowy, like, skin, I am down for. Okay, so next I'm going to finish up the eyes. I am going to use a little pencil brush. Here we go. And I'm going to go back in to this lighter shade, Churro. I'm like having a hard time going into this lighter shade Churro right here. And I'm going to put the lighter shade on like the inside of the eye. And then I'm actually going to go darker for the outer corner. So let's do the lighter shade first and drag that kind of from the middle of the eye forward. Guys, if you haven't noticed yet, I live for the smoky eye. I smoke out my bottom lash line pretty much every look. It's just my thing. And then we're going to go back into this dark shade. It does not take very much, and I'm going to do the outer corner of the eye now. Okay, on to liner. I like to line the bottom of my eyes first for some reason, I guess because it's easier. And I'm going to use my Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is their waterproof liner, and it's just in the Coal Noir. I love this liner because it's a gel, so it goes on really easily. I don't have to apply much pressure to my eye. I also love it because I have allergies sometimes, and my eyes water a lot, and this waterproof liner literally doesn't move. It's also really good for your waterline. It will stay there all day long. And then using my Morphe M508, I'm just gonna kind of soften and blur out that line. Okay, and now for my top line, I am going to use the Morphe. This is their gel liner in the shade Jet, and I am going to use a Anastasia brush. I think it's the number 7 or 12. I am seriously still so scared about doing my eyeliner still on camera. It's just really weird for me to be doing it like at this angle, holding a tiny mirror, just all of it. But I like to do the inside of the eye first. And then kind of with one swoop, drag that over. Okay guys, sorry the liner is on. Had a little issue there, had to take care of it. It's all good now. So now I'm gonna go in with my Sills Booster. This is by Lancome. It is a lash primer, and I love to use a lash primer on my bottom lashes. Always my bottom, only my bottom, because I wear some strip lashes on the top, but my lashes need a little bit of help. And so we're gonna give it to them. And now I'm going to let that dry for a second and go in with my Hourglass, my Caution mascara that I have been feeling for a hot minute. I'm going to do my top lashes first and then my bottom. Guys, I am seriously so obsessed with this look. Okay, I don't think I can take not having brows for any longer, so let's go to brows. Today I'm going to use my Benefit brush, and then I'm going to go in with my Ka-Brow, and this is in the shade 4. So what I love about Ka-Brow is that a little bit goes a long way. So I just do a couple taps in here, put my lid back on tight so that it stays nice and fresh. And then I usually have enough product that I can go to town and not have to worry about getting more. So like I usually do, guys, I'm just mapping out my shape first. And then I go back in with little strokes and kind of fill. And then of course, just always going through it with a spoolie to make sure there's no heavy product placement anywhere. It's all nice and evenly distributed. And then I am just repeating those same steps on my left side. Then I'm going to go in with my 24-hour brow setter. This is just a really bomb clear brow gel by Benefit. I love it. I don't know if they still have it, but mine is that pretty rose gold color because it was from the Desi Perkins collection they did with Benefit. It was such a good deal. If you guys see it in Ulta's or on Ulta's website, you should snag it. Or if you want a bunch of brow products, it's a really good deal because it came with like every brow product they had, all full size. And it came with this brow gel too. You kind of got to try everything of theirs. Or if you're like me and you knew you loved it, but you just wanted a steal, you could get everything that way. Okay, feels so much better to have brows on. And lastly, we're gonna contour. So I am gonna go in with my Kylie bronzer. The verdict's still out on this guy, but I'm gonna try it again, and this is in the shade Almond. This guy here, you can tell I haven't even taken the plastic off yet. I'm gonna start that just under my cheekbone right here. I just like to wiggle it, kind of placing that pigment all the way back here by the back of my ear, kind of just right under my cheekbone here. In my temples, let's see if I can do this without messing up my little hairdo here. Oh man, this is going to be the real kicker if I can do this without messing up my hair while doing my forehead. We're going to have to re-slay those edges. So you can see I'm doing my temples here, kind of across my forehead, and then in my cheekbone. I am just going to take whatever's left on the brush, kind of go around my jawline a little bit. And then I'm going to use a smaller brush to be a little bit more detailed on my nose. I'm just going to follow the natural shadow that occurs on both sides of my nose. Then I'm going to go in with my MAC Mineralized Blush, and this is in the shade Warm Soul. I don't know why I read the name. Like, I know this one by heart. But I'm just going to kind of press that into my cheekbone. I love Warm Soul. It's like just enough. I want to keep this really like bronzy and golden, but this is just that perfect little, I don't know, peachy, rosy hue that gives you some color, but I don't want to see as much blush today, and this is just that perfect shade. And then you guys know me, I like to go over the tip of my nose as well. Okay, we have saved the best for last. This is my Estee Lauder highlighter. Guys, can you see just how like gorgeous this is? This is Heat Wave Cult Fave. This is a brand new one, and can you see when it's new just like how pretty that is? Prettiest pattern in it. I'm gonna use a fan brush. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to mess it up because it's so pretty. Here goes nothing. And I'm going to dust this onto that high part of our cheekbone. Remember, this is our golden glowing goddess makeup. So we want to glow, baby. So we're sticking this right on that high part of the cheekbone. Guys, it smells so good. They have a perfume called Bronze Goddess. I'm going to take this up in a C. Sorry, I have ADD. They have a perfume called Bronzed Goddess as well, and it's like the perfect summery shade. This smells just like it. I literally, between like my coconut drops, this, I just like, it has all the summertime coconutty, I don't even know what this smells like. It's just magical, but all the summer smells right now. I wish you guys could smell these. Taking it up in a C, kind of on my temple area there. And that high part of the cheekbone. Hello Glow. On my Cupid's bow. Everywhere. And then you guys know me, using a super tiny brush, we are going to do that nose contour right down the middle of the nose and kind of right on the very top. And then I like to just blend it in a little with my finger. And then I also want to put a little of this right on the corner of the eye here to brighten, and also kind of in this little corner. Ooh, it's all coming together. Guys, I'm so obsessed with this look. Like, this is all the bronze glowy goddessness I needed. If I could just be a bronzed goddess every day. No mom days. No sweatpant days, just bronze goddess days. Nah. Sweatpants are pretty great too. Okay, and last but most certainly not least, lashes. So I finally broke down and bought me some Lily lashes. It took a lot of convincing. I've never spent so much on lashes, but I just had to, right? So I ordered the Miami Flare. Can you guys see them in here? I hope that's in focus. But these are the Miami Flare, and they are just all kinds of perfect. I'm gonna apply them with the velour lash adhesive. This is new to me. I'll let you guys know what I think of it. If you guys aren't already following me on Instagram, you totally should be. Okay, let's hope I can get these on. Okay, got it, finally. You guys know my favorite tip is once you get your lash on to kind of pinch it all the way across, just kind of like a little pinchy motion, but check out the difference. So these are the Lily Lashes Miami Flares. What I like about these is that they're like super tapered on the inside, really tiny, small little hairs. Those don't bother me when I blink and things like that when they're close to the inside of my eye here. And then oh, so fluffy and fluttery on the edges. I'm gonna come in closer just so you guys can can you see the difference? Insane. Okay, so now they are both on. These lashes are just amazing. They are a little bit more pricey, but for me, I'm not someone who does lash extensions, and so they're worth the investment for me because they kind of give you that big, fluttery, fluffy lash extension look, honestly, for like a fourth of the price. And you can wear them a bunch and they just dramatically change your eyes. I am so obsessed with them. They are so fluffy and soft. My first pair, and it won't be my last. So now for our lips, I'm going to go in with my KKW Lip Liner, and this is in the shade Love. This lip liner is pretty much going to be our lipstick shade for today. A little tip is to, and I can't do this while talking, is to line your lips with your mouth relaxed and closed. This is just going to help you get the most natural shape to your lip liner when you're applying your lips more relaxed, the way everybody is going to see them throughout the day. Then I'm just going to go over this lip liner with Over the Top. This is a gloss from Dose of Colors that has the most gorgeous gold flecks in it. It's also from the Friendcation collection and matches the shadow perfectly. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're inspired by this look, make sure you tag me in your photos. If we're not friends, then we should totally be friends. I'm gonna leave my handles down in the info down below with all the other good stuff. Make sure that you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, click that pretty little subscribe button. I hope you guys are having an amazing summer. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.